The mystic lotus, more commonly known as the purple lotus, powerful and beautiful, representing purity, spiritual awakening, faithfulness, and expansion of the soul. It is able to rise out of murky waters in the morning and be perfectly clean. This would be me until I met the storm. I thought I'd been through the storm. I stood in fear of its rumble and buckled a bit when I heard its roar, until I realized it was fighting to release its tears. And then the rain came. It took me some time to realize that the storm was actually me. I thought I had soothed my skies and orchestrated more sunny than rainy days, and then she came. And then the tsunami hit. How could I, the one who could not protect myself, protect one that has come from me? I wanted to run. I wanted to run to a far-off place where no one could harm her, no one could see her, and no one could touch her. By plane, by car, by camel, by any means necessary to protect her. I knew what men do to little girls. They are not safe. She is not safe. 1 in 4 little girls will be molested before their 10th birthday. Most stats say before their 18th birthday, but I'll never forget what I read. 1 out of 4 girls will be sexually violated before their 10th birthday. This would not be her truth. She would not fall victim to such pain, such torment, such shame. I wanted to incubate her for as long as I could, but that could never be. My most secure moments with her would be with her at my nursing breast. If only I was able to get past the awkwardness of my breast not being a sexual object, I would be fine. In my storm of memories, they were indeed the only thing untouched and not violated. They belonged to her, and they would offer her all the nurturing and safety for the next 3 years. Every day is counted as a day I kept her safe. Every birthday is a celebration of not just her life, but her unviolated life.
Now remember, these are your private parts, and no one is to touch them. Remember what they are called.
As she got older, her voice became louder and stronger, but the voices in the back of my mind and the images never ceased. They got stronger too. The incessant mind chatter could only be soothed by the joy in her eyes when she was with me, and I could physically see that she was safe. School comes for most parents with anxiety of separation and worry of adaptation. My daughter's first day would come with voices from within me.
Are you sure she's okay? Make sure. How do you know?
Before finally coming to terms with, she's okay. As she grew older, I was faced with even more challenges. Separation anxiety was at an all-time high. She'd leave to her father's, and I was left to my own devices of self-soothing. Interestingly enough, it was my anxiety, not hers. I knew my own worry could contaminate her peace. I knew it could spread like wildfire throughout her nervous system, causing her inner turmoil that I created. Spirituality became my refuge. As a child growing up with a strict religious foundation, with its teachers who scorned me and turned their head at my fractured, frazzled self, I felt less than perfect. In fact, I felt worthless and filled with shame. I would finally find something more substantiating. I could hear his voice in the whispers.
Her story is not yours, and yours will never be hers.
I learned the power of words, energy, and intention set consciously and unconsciously with our thoughts. The law of attraction became my mantra, but it would take some time before it would become a part of my active awakening and a part of my true spirit. Watching each birthday became a birthday for me as well. We both grew together. I got to watch from her eyes what it was like to be untainted and free. This could only happen for her if I was free, that is. fucking summer camp. I dare you. I registered her for a day camp. You said nothing about an overnight. In fact, 2 overnights. I felt the heat of 100 forest fires in the pit of my stomach. I asked for opinions. Many said they wouldn't send her. Many said, "Your daughter is so loud, she would not be a likely candidate for such abuse." Little did they know, I once was very loud and carefree as a child. But that mattered not. As images passed through my mind of camp counselors I had smiled and shook hands with in a day camp, now crawling into bed with my daughter after grooming her and her freezing and being damaged eternally. There is no damn stranger danger. There is familiarity and disparity. Then the voice of spirit would step in.
She is safe, and she will not bear your scars. But you can also strip her of her own joy with your fears.
Finding my balance was taking off from work to drive 3 hours to pop up unannounced. No other parents had done such a thing, but I didn't care. See my face, see my story without words, feel my energy that says, treat her with kindness, dignity, and respect, what every child deserves. The look on her face would be priceless, half annoyed and half happy, showing off her mom, who she often saw as a bit weird, who worried about everything, and it made her laugh at me. If she only knew the nightmares and trauma that lay etched in my mind. Not an if that I want, an if I do not want satisfied for her to know ever. She grew older and her bathing would become conversations as I sat and she washed her own body and had endless stories of her day. She would talk incessantly and sang always. My presence would soon become invisible in her bath time. Her body would shift and change, and she would soon cover herself, not with shame, but with the appreciation and sacredness of her femininity. Although she would run free around me as she saw me as an extension of herself, she would soon mock me as now she would understand, but only from a distance, what I was constantly protecting her from. She knew the interactions of man and woman, sexuality to the largest appropriate extent of a 10-year-old child without bias, and the daughter of a social worker, but she also now knew what liberties people take of children in their vulnerability. Somewhere deep inside, I think she got me. Her love and joy would now bathe me and then cover me. The mystic lotus is also known to be resilient. You can cut away the leaves that grow and it becomes affected by the climate surrounding it. And guess what? It will still grow. Ever strong, ever budding, and can overtake a whole pond. I become full of colors of life as her brothers before her etched the image of me as a mother, but she would finish me in color. One out of 4 girls will be molested before their 10th birthday, and 1 out of 6 boys before their 10th birthday. I stand in gratitude for our years and her untainted years, imparting safety, empowerment, building a village around her, and exposing her to all the divine forces. As more years come, I have faith in knowing that there are stars aligning, universal blessings with powerful intents, a Christ consciousness, and Allah in a mosque listening to prayers, Hashem who extends far out beyond temple walls, Ganesha removing obstacles, a Buddhist temple where meditation raises vibrations, and a Yemeya protecting children with other Orishas awaiting children to be crowned for whatsoever resonates with her heart to live with integrity, and she will always be divinely protected. But for today, she is my perfect 10, and I, her mystic lotus, because today is her 10th birthday.